Hello there. Today I'm with Domaines Delon and I'm tasting their fabulous second growth Leoville-Las Cases. And Leoville-Las Cases, always a top performer. I would suggest one of the top second growths of the Médoc. So we're in Saint-Julien. Now Leoville-Las Cases I think has some of the best terroir, certainly in Saint-Julien, arguably some of the best terroir in the Médoc. Sort of beautiful, deep gravel banks running down to the riverside. One thing they've changed in 2024 is they've completed the renovation of their fermentation cellars. So what that change has meant is that they've gone from having 40 fermentation tanks to now having somewhere in the region of 110. And that's designed to enable them to ferment smaller batches as is necessary. Now in a challenging vintage like 2024, that's actually been a huge benefit to them because they've been able to pick parts of plots, they've been able to return to plots, been able to pick only the ripe berries from plots and then return and pick again later once the rest have ripened fully. It's given the winemakers so many more options in this challenging vintage. So I think they've really benefited from that. The wine is predominantly Cabernet Sauvignon. It's 84% Cabernet Sauvignon, with 11% of Cabernet Franc, and then the remainder, the 5% of Merlot. The wine will age in barrel, French oak, 75% of which will be new, and by the time it's completed maturation, it will have spent 18 months in those barrels. So it's probably been in there for 4 months now or so. So the wine I'm tasting now will gain more oak character, will probably close up a little more, and we'll gain some tannins from that. And the time spent in oak will help to refine those tannins as well. So let's have a look at it and see what we make of it. First thing to say is we have a lovely, deep, dark, black purple colour. It's not quite opaque, but it holds its colour well to the rim, and there's a vivid purple rim there, swirling the wine, forming tears quite readily, and it's actually staining the glass. So let's see what we make of the aroma, shall we? The aromas are a little reticent, but as you look at them, you see a really lovely, pure blackcurrant essence coming through. I'm saying blackcurrant essence because it lacks the sort of the crunchy, leafy element that slightly unripe Cabernet might add, but there's a real purity to the black fruit there. Behind that also there are some notes of oak spices, little hints of sweet oak spices. So let's have a taste. On the palate, the first thing you notice is the wine structure. There's a very fine, firm, tannic grip there. And yet at the same time, it manages to do that without astringency. This is not too suckingly dry because there's good acidity, and that acidity is lifting black fruit. It's lifting a very clean, pure blackcurrant fruit, maybe some little touches of black cherry out of the structure, and it's surrounding it with those. There are some graphite hints, there are delicate cedary notes, but they're all beautifully integrated. The wine isn't huge, it's medium to medium full body. It's not a hugely alcoholic wine. The technical sheet here says this is 13.1% alcohol. What it means is that fresh acidity is able to lift those beautiful fruit perfumes without them being smothered by hot alcohol at the finish. And that's allowing a sort of a structured, a long tannic finish to show those lovely black fruits. Leoville-Las Cases can often be a little austere when it's young, and this is certainly showing a very linear style and really quite tight tannins. It's structured. It's currently being a bit formal, but I think actually this is one of the wines I've tried that is starting to convince me that some of the wines, at least from the 2024 vintage, may not simply be wines to buy for short-term drinking. They may have some good ageability. Certainly this is a wine you could keep for 10 years, probably 20, and during that time it will develop some amazing complexity because it's got a beautiful density of fine, well-structured tannins, and they're supported by a lovely fresh acidity And that combination enables the wine to deliver its beautiful perfume without it being overwhelmed by slightly higher alcohol. To my mind, this is actually quite a traditional style of Leoville-Las Cases. And yet at the same time, I wouldn't say it's an old-fashioned style, because I think the more old-fashioned style would probably have shown slightly more notes of leafiness from hints of slightly less ripe Cabernet Sauvignon and Cabernet Franc in there. This is a nicely made, elegant, modern Médoc wine with great finesse and some lovely aging potential. I think when you bear in mind the prices this year are invariably going to have to be lower than those for the 2023 vintage, I think this is the sort of wine that if you can get hold of, should be worth putting away, because it should be at a nice price. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you'd like to find out more about this wine, I will leave a link to the Wine Searcher webpage for this vintage of this wine in the notes below, and you can follow that. And not only once the wines are released in May will you be able to see where it's available and for what price, but you'll also be able to see background notes, price history, what the critics are saying, and you'll be able to compare it to other vintages of the same wine. So hopefully that should give you a good resource if you're thinking of purchasing on Primeur wines. If you've enjoyed the video, do please press the like button, that would be great. If you would like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, do please sign up, also set yourself an alert, and that way you can be notified every time we publish a new video. If you have any friends you think might like to watch the video, do please pass it on to them. That would be great to have your endorsement in that way. And if you have any comments, please pop them in the comments box below. I would be really interested to hear what you have to say about these wines, the tastings we're doing, or anything else that relates to that. Over the next couple of weeks, I will try and do more of these on Primeur videos. Hopefully you'll be able to join me again as I taste my way around Bordeaux and the 2024 vintage. Until then, bye for now.